Hey everyone, so I just wanted to get on here and start talking about some of my paintings a little bit. A lot of people have asked me kind of my meaning behind things or how I get my ideas. And I just want to start off with one question that was just about how I kind of formulate my ideas and where maybe I get my inspiration from. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So just to start, this is the current piece that I'm working on right now. This one, I didn't really have an idea in mind. A lot of times I kind of have a very vague idea of like kind of a feeling that I want to emulate, or if I'm just feeling a certain way. I don't know. So basically I started with this character in the middle here. Originally it was just a boy, a regular kid, human, sitting on a desk looking out of a window. I kind of photoshopped and sketched out a general idea first. And that's where I started with this, with the window. And then as I went along, I took a picture here. This is how I'll show you my iPad here. So you can see this. I took a photo of the piece as I was working on it because I wanted to start filling in these areas. So that's something how I work, where I just kind of start with a general idea and then I kind of build from it as I go along. Not every painting I do that, but most of them, even if it's just some smaller elements, or I never go into a painting knowing where it's gonna end up. So anyway, this one here, I wanted to see what certain things would look like before I went into the actual painting. So I started blocking out. I suddenly had an idea for these fish. I don't even know. Sometimes ideas just come into my head. I'll sit on paintings for a while that I'm not sure what direction to go, and then suddenly I'll just have an idea. So that's kind of how this worked out. I also decided, I think because I made his head like this weird circular shape just randomly, and then it kind of looked like a shell to me, and then that idea turned into more like fish and ocean stuff. Some of the stuff I haven't fully fleshed out yet, but kind of the general idea. So from that idea, I went to build onto that with my fish there. This area, I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. Also down here maybe. And then I also had potentially an idea to have water coming through the window, or I'm not quite sure what he's looking at or what the emotion is there yet. But yeah. And also another thing is I really like people to just kind of interpret stuff in their own way, because I find it interesting what people get out of it. And so this one, for example, I go around New York. I live in Brooklyn, and I will go take photographs of different buildings and stuff like that I find interesting. So this background image that I used was a photo that I had taken that I just had randomly in my computer. A lot of times I have reference or stuff that I have for years that I just sit on, and suddenly one day it kind of just gives me an idea. I think this one, the original idea I had, was from an old notebook of mine that had some text in it, and I don't know, sometimes things just pop into my head. This one, for example, is actually an old photograph of the three girls. I found this picture of these girls sitting in this doorway, and I started with just them in the doorway, and I kind of liked the idea of having this big open space, but I wasn't sure what I was going to put behind them at first, and then this is how it ended up. I'm not going to get too into the details about meaning right now. I'm just kind of giving my process a little bit about how maybe I put together some pieces, and they all kind of are different. Sometimes I'm inspired by a photograph that I see. I really like old pictures from like the 50s and earlier, or certain themes, or I'll just be watching a movie and a color palette will look interesting to me, and I'll want to think of something I can do with that. This one, for example, I had an idea for a while to do a King of Hearts painting. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to do like a king with a sword at his head. And then I got the idea to do kind of like a stage play, and then kind of just built it from there. This one I used random photo reference for the king, but I actually just made up all of the background stuff. I don't think I used any reference really for any of that, except for maybe just like a shape of a pear and just kind of a general shape of a wolf there. One thing I will say, if you are struggling to come up with ideas and stuff like that, my thing has always been just writing down ideas. I have like probably 50 of these types of notebooks, all dated over the years, starting from probably around 2005 when I started college. And sometimes I just pull one out and I see a random phrase or something that I've written down, and something pops into my head. I don't know. Also, apologies for the mess in my studio. Right now, I just moved my whole desk over and everything's like a huge mess. So if you see random stuff around, it's because it's a mess. But I will do a tour once I'm finished, so that should be fun. But yeah, I hope that answers some questions about kind of my process a little bit, and how I come up with some of my ideas. You know, every single one really is different. Sometimes I'm just inspired by a picture or just something, I don't know, and then it kind of takes its own life on while I'm painting it. So I don't know, it just comes from within. But yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. I'm gonna do more videos about specific paintings and maybe some of the themes behind them a little bit more. Yeah, keep the questions coming, and I'll make more videos as I go.